We are in Tulsa, Oklahoma for this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. Before I go any further, thank you Haroon and Amber, who have an Airbnb in Tulsa, and they sponsored this episode. It's a wonderful Airbnb, one bedroom in an excellent location in downtown, and we can't wait to show it to you in a little bit later. Hi friends, I'm in Galax, Virginia. Renee and Jenny and I are, and we stayed a couple of days with our friends, the Cowleys, and on this episode, I want to show you some of our friends as we travel across the states. Got a couple of stops that we're going to be with friends, other times Airbnbs, but we're at the Cowleys and getting ready to eat breakfast. Now, you can eat at a restaurant and you get questionable stuff from a questionable kitchen that you don't know what the health inspector said about them. But hey, when the man's frying your bacon up right in front of you and fresh coffee brewing in the pot, it don't get any better than that. All right, we are on the road. We left Galax a couple of hours ago, crossing over into Tennessee. Crossed over into Tennessee at Bristol, and about 2 hours it took us to get here, and we got about 4 more hours to go to get to Springfield, Tennessee. That's a community just north, I guess northwest or so of Nashville, Tennessee. And we're going to be spending the night with the Morgans, our good friends, and we'll show them to you a little bit later on the journey. Just got gas at Buc-ee's, and I'll count up and see how many gas pumps they have. Or I'll just ask inside. But I'll take you inside and show you. This place is so awesome. I think they're probably open about 25 hours a day. Just went into Buc-ee's, and it's huge, as you can see in these videos. Huge. The bathroom, I can't tell you about the ladies' bathroom, but the men's bathroom, I mean, these are things you probably shouldn't talk about, but there were 13 urinals, there were 15 stalls, and there were 12 sinks. And I asked a lady up at the front counter, because I wasn't going to count all the gas pumps, but how many gas pumps are there? 120. 120. Can you imagine never waiting in line to get gas? You just pull up and get gas. This place is almost like a tourist destination all in itself, isn't it, Jenny? Hey friends, we're in Springfield, Tennessee, just north, I guess it's north of Nashville or northwest?
North. Yeah, north.
North of Nashville. And we stayed the night with the Morgans, great friends of ours, and always fun to see them. Saw them last year when we were coming through to Mexico, and we saw them again. And had breakfast, dinner last night, breakfast this morning. Good to see Martin and Edwina Morgan. We just spent one night in Russellville, Arkansas. And what you're looking at over on the left is Arkansas Nuclear 1. It's a 2-unit pressurized water nuclear power plant. All right, we are around Fort Smith, Arkansas, getting ready to cross over into Oklahoma. And by the way, in case you didn't know, Oklahoma is okay. It's been 41 years since I've been in Oklahoma. Went to school there for a year in Tulsa and really liked Tulsa. We're getting ready to go try some lunch at Goldie's Grill there in Tulsa. and Goldie's had the best burgers now 41 years ago. That was before Five Guys, that was before Smash Burgers, and all that kind of good stuff. And hey, wait a minute, I think we crossed into Oklahoma. All right, we stopped at a little gas station. I needed some coffee and got some Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks, not what it used to be. You got to dig in there. Remember how there used to be a lot of peanuts in that thing? There are very few. They're on the bottom, but they still have a prize. Now, remember, as a kid, you were anxious to get that prize because it was going to be something really cool. It'd be I don't know, a tattoo or something to color or some little plastic army man or whatever. Now you get this little piece of paper. I don't know. I'm going to open it up and we're going to see what's inside this wonderful prize that they have now. What was inside is this sticker at the bottom, and then it tells you to find the sticker. You visit their website, you follow the directions, and you start playing. I don't know. It seems kind of cheesy. I think I'll just wear the sticker. You can leave your cares at the doorstep as you experience tranquility in this spacious one-bedroom apartment in the heart of Tulsa. It's situated in one of Tulsa's most vibrant neighborhoods, only 4 minutes from the gathering place. Enjoy the many local restaurants, shops, and eateries in the area. The living room provides a smart TV with Netflix, Hulu, Prime, and other channels that you can log into. Although you'll have one spacious bedroom, if you have a larger group, the sofa bed will accommodate 2 additional members of your family or group. The high-speed internet connection means you don't have to wait an eternity to enjoy your show after a long day of exploring. There's a luxurious, comfortable queen-size bed in the bedroom. Seriously, they challenge you to find a more comfortable bed. The room is equipped with dedicated space for those of you who are working remotely. Extra blankets, bed sheets, pillows will be provided in case you need more. Whether you're only in town for a few nights or longer, this place is perfect for those who want to experience a stylish apartment while enjoying Tulsa. Thank you, Haroon and Amber, so much for sponsoring this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. We'll put a link in the comment and description section so that you can connect with them. When you're in Tulsa, this is the place to stay. We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and eating at Goldie's. Now, one thing that Goldie's does is they'll give you a choice of what kind of pickles you want, and they bring pickles to the table. These are sweet pickles, and they're mighty good. I lived in Tulsa back in the early 80s. 1982 was the last time I was in Tulsa, and Goldie's was the place to go for a burger. A Whataburger is wonderful, but Goldie's was a step up. And at that time, we'd go to the Goldie's on South Lewis Boulevard. That location's closed down now. And I wondered why. Why is it closed down? And it's the same thing we've talked about before. You can't get people to work. In fact, at this location, the guy was telling me that he'll see people out front begging, wanting you to give them a handout because they can't work or don't have a job. He'll walk out and say, hey, we're hiring. We need people to work. Would you work for us? They're not interested. Strange times we live in. In just a few minutes, we'll show you the burger. It's wonderful. Just like I remember them. Delicious. We have an app on our phone or on my phone called Plate Spot, and it allows you to kind of play a game as you're traveling along. It's a free app, and you identify license plates. All 50 license plates, all 50 states are on there, and you check them off as you go along. And I guess you can complete something by getting all 50 of them. Something that I never realized is in Oklahoma, they've got like 30 some extra plates that are not Oklahoma plates, they're Indian tribe plates. I'll show you a couple of them as I'm talking about this, but it was quite amazing. You see quite a few of those around, and these are folks who are part of different Indian tribes there in Oklahoma. Pretty cool, eh? And I'm standing out front of Cityplex Towers, I believe it's called, and there's also a hospital attached here. When I lived here 42 years ago, things were a little bit different, and this was called City of Faith. It was 3 buildings, and I'll show them to you. They're behind me. 3 buildings, a 60-story, not 6, 60-story clinic a 30-story hospital, and a 20-story cancer research center. Now, that was 42 years ago, thereabouts, and things have changed. It's been sold, bought out, and it's different things now, but hey, let me show you what it looks like. That on the left is the 20-story building. To your right, 30 stories. And there in the center is the big boy, 60 stories tall. Now, remember when I actually went to school here at Oral Roberts University for 1 year back in 81 to 82. And at that time, I worked across the street at the clinic and hospital. I filled vending machines. That was one of my jobs. I had 3 part-time jobs working my way through school. And I used to go up to the 60th floor. And a buddy of mine, we'd go out on the front peak and look out over, looking towards South Louis, looking out over Tulsa. And what a view you have from 60 stories up. Quite a view. And you can see it there behind me. Imagine that you are going up to the 60th floor. Riding the elevators up there was amazing in and of itself. Approaching the campus of Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, one of the first things that you see is the Avenue of Flags. At the back of the Avenue of Flags is a sculpture that is known as the world's largest praying hands. It's a bronze sculpture. It weighs 30 tons. The artist that cast the statue is from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, did so in 1980, and they were moved from the Cityplex towers that we just looked at over to the ORU campus in 1991. Hands are 60 feet tall, and they kind of tower over in flags that you see around them. I'm with my new friend Justin here at ORU, and Justin just subscribed to our channel, and so that's kind of cool. Kind of a full circle thing back here 40-some years later, but cool campus, really cool campus, and we'll show you some scenes of ORU in just a second. The 4 dorms that you see here, ladies' dorms were on the right back in the 80s, and the dorms there on the left, Hughes dorm, it's probably not called that anymore, but on the far left, that was where I lived at for my time at ORU. Top floor, elevator only went to the 11th floor, but had to take the steps up to the 12th floor, and we called it the attic. That's those noisy Canadian geese going across there. Oral Roberts University was certainly known for modern buildings, and this building here, I'm guessing, is still the cafeteria. But I'm looking, and downstairs, they've got a Chick-fil-A now. They didn't have a Chick-fil-A when I was here. I'm not even sure there was a Chick-fil-A anywhere when I was here. But that's the prayer tower. And in the background, you'll see those buildings that are the Cityplex buildings now that used to be the City of Faith Hospital. This was a classrooms building back in the day, and I guess it still is, called the Learning Resources Center. The building here is called Christ Chapel, and it's where chapel services were held and still are. Now, 40 years ago, those buildings, and they look like they're new dorms, they weren't here. Now, unfortunately for us, we came the first week of January of 2023, and everything's closed down for holiday, and they don't open back up until January 19th for classes. So a lot of the buildings are closed. Bummer. And there's the old Howard Auditorium. I understand they're going to tear that down and build something different. place is a really cool park that's down by the riverfront. I can't just say playground. There are playgrounds. There are sports courts. There's a cafe. There's a boathouse. There's Charlie's Water Mountain. There's a water maze at Mist Mountain. There are hundreds of cars that are parked here, families enjoying the park. And other than, your cost of food or drinks at a cafe or something, the cost is free. It's free for families to come and enjoy. The park is on nearly 100 acres of Tulsa's waterfront along the Arkansas River, and it's a dynamic, interactive environment. Kids can come to explore, to learn, and to play. Obviously, we can't show it all to you, but just take a look at some of the videos that we took here. There is something for everyone. Renee just made the comment, this place goes on and on and on. What a cool concept. It's got a gathering place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and young families, oh my gosh, young families would have a ball here, and obviously they do. If it's okay, I'd like to show you the church that I attended when I lived in Tulsa. This is Boston Avenue United Methodist Church. It was completed back in 1929, and it's one of America's finest church examples of Art Deco architecture. It's actually on the National Register of Historic Places. It was built between 1927 and 1929. I'm as amazed now as I was 40 years ago at how gorgeous this old church is. Hey, before we go look at some of the beautiful architecture, some of the simple craftsman cottages and homes in Tulsa, I want to show you the Golden Driller. The Golden Driller. He's 75 foot tall, 43,500 pounds. That's nearly 22 tons. It's a statue of an oil worker and is here in Tulsa. It's a steel frame and it's covered with concrete and plaster. Sixth tallest statue in the U.S., and it's right here in front of the Tulsa Expo Center. Been here since 1966. Before we wrap up this episode, let's ride around through a neighborhood and take a look at some of the beautiful craftsman cottages that I was telling you about. Some pretty houses here. And if you look on Zillow or realtor listings, housing is not too bad here. It's kind of inexpensive. Thank you again, Haroon and Amber, for sponsoring this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. If you're in Tulsa, their Airbnb is the place to stay at. We'll put a link in the comment and description section so that you can connect with them.